Halloween is a very distinctly cozy holiday. Throughout the month of October in much of the northern hemisphere, you've got the autumn breeze, the warm drinks, the fall foliage, harvest festivals, and quiet blue nightfalls amidst the warm street lighting. Later in the month, there's trick-or-treating with the costumes and candy, Halloween specials on the TV, watching horror movies, and of course, playing the horror games. But starting with the era of online multiplayer experiences, something different was brewing. Another way to experience the flavor of the holiday. Some gaming developers were feeling a little supernatural spirit and decided to start seeping these real-life feelings of Halloween into their titles, specifically for the month of October, every year. So let's talk about why some are a wonderful snapshot of the essence of Halloween, and why I wish others took more notes on these. What's new with you, my very blue crew? Welcome back to the Blue Horizon channel. My name is Blue Horizon with my bird friend here, Jay, broadcasting live from a very spooky Cafe Azul, or should I say a ghoul. Today's episode is going to be more like an appreciation post for my favorite holiday of the year. Growing up myself, I think I was about 13 years old when I stopped trick-or-treating for good. Just after that, I moved to a new state, almost completely eliminating my physical friend group. Normally, this meant Halloween would be sort of dead to me. No trick-or-treating, new school, no friends. What's the point? But having just gotten into PC gaming around this time, this beautiful little free-to-play game called Team Fortress 2 was hosting its third annual Scream Fortress event. So I bought an entire bag of Kit Kats, all to myself at my desk, and tried it out on Halloween night. It was mind-blowing how fun this game could be during Halloween. Don't get me wrong, TF2 was always a great game, but during Halloween it felt like there was extra soul and passion poured in that always hooked me. Every year was a new Halloween spin on an existing TF2 map. They added things like new lighting and ambience, explosive pumpkins you could shoot for environmental kills, reskinned health and ammo pickups, randomly spawning ghosts that disarmed you, map bosses that the entire server had to fight together for a chance at rewards, randomizer gimmicks like a Wheel of Fate that would give people giant bobbleheads or lower gravity, Scream Fortress comics that had tie-ins with the main lore, and of course all of the wonderful free cosmetics that you could randomly find scattered around the map that almost reminded me of dressing myself up for Halloween. The amount of effort Valve poured into this could not be understated. In TF2, no other holiday felt quite the same as Halloween did. I looked forward to it every year thereafter. Whether it was just miserable weather outside, friends didn't feel like hanging out, or I was sick, having a virtual event I could always expect to be around to give me the essence of Halloween, while being able to play with friends or meet new folks on the servers was incredibly important to stay in touch with the holiday as I grew up past the trick-or-treating phase. Just like this week's okay, I don't have a sponsor, but if you're enjoying, you can help me get there by subscribing to this mystical channel and hitting that frightful bell. In the years that followed, as my interest in TF2 waned, I continued trying to chase this feeling, looking for other multiplayer games that might give me a similar living Halloween world experience. My findings were that I was just really spoiled early on in the PC journey. It was incredibly scarce. Many attempted to do it, but it was often half-hearted and lazy. They would only have a fraction of the content Scream Fortress had. No Halloween-skinned map or original ideas added to the gameplay loop. Just a few goofy cosmetics that acted as a FOMO driver for you to play the game, but did nothing to really reshape the perceived world around you and give you those spooky, cozy vibes. Now, as a caveat, my experience is more limited to shooting games. I wasn't a huge MMO player or that much of a MOBA player, outside the 500 hours I somehow spent on Dota that one winter. World of Warcraft kind of started this trend way back in 2005 with its own plethora of yearly spooky content. Dota 2's Dire Tide was also equivalent in scope to Scream Fortress, coming from the very same developers, but was sporadic and not held yearly. So with that in mind, within the genres that I enjoyed, I was lucky enough to be into a few other games I think did this very well. One was, well, the TF2 killer, as many in the online community at the time called it, Overwatch. I naturally gravitated towards it as it had everything I enjoyed from TF2, but in a newer, shinier package. Keeping in line with emulating much of TF2's greatest aspects, it had its own Halloween Terror event, featuring a reskinned nighttime Hollywood map, new costumes, and of course, the entirely new PvE game mode Junkenstein's Revenge. That was a simplified dead ringer of TF2's successful man vs. machine mode. The vibes were perfect. Everything was decorated the same, everyone was costumed the same, the game mostly played the same, and gave me that sense that Blizzard, like their World of Warcraft events, really cared about this holiday in Overwatch as well. It was just great fun to participate in, and while later years felt more recycled and I personally wasn't around that long, I appreciate that in those first couple years they added 2 Halloween maps to the rotation, so at least you had a couple of maps you could bounce between when you were feeling the frightful itch. Another game I think does a wonderful job is Fortnite, and I'm especially happy about this because it tends to be a game marketed towards teenagers who've grown out of the kiddie activities, much like I was when I got into Scream Fortress. So these players get to relive how I felt way back in 2011. The first Fortnitemares event was questionable, being only a couple new weapons and 2 now iconic premium skins. But honestly, it was only Season 1 and the game was so early that I forgive its simplicity. The next year was when it really started to be a focus, with the entire Season 6 being practically dedicated to the Halloween vibe. With tie-ins to the existing Battle Royale lore and zombies who I'm pretty sure were brought in from the Save the World PvE mode. Maybe the remaining 50 chads who cared about Save the World can tell me in the comments. Now, unlike TF2 and Overwatch, it didn't shake up the map in too many spooky ways, maybe some decorations here or there, and of course now you had zombies spawning in. But the new menu design and the music, combined with the cosmetics and the blue-purpley hues of the storm at nighttime in those days, all combined for a guaranteed fun Halloween night with your buddies. Man, don't some of you guys miss the extremely saturated, stylized colors of OG Fortnite? I also mostly took a break from this game and hop back in sporadically when a new season interests me, but year after year, the scale of Fortnitemares seems to grow, including genuinely new terrifying reskins of prior areas, powerful PvE bosses, candy that could grant unique abilities, kind of like fish in the base game, and its own limited time mode called Horde Rush. Sorry, Save the World fans. The event is bursting at the seams with dedication each year, and I love what the devs over at Epic are doing in that respect. Perhaps it's because so many of them have kids of their own that play the game, so they're deeply ingrained in the vibes of Halloween and want to just make cool shit for their own family. I don't know, just spitballing. Now lastly, I want to touch upon a game that's very special to my heart, and I've been playing it here or there for almost a decade. A little known game called Tower Unite. This is a social hub type game, similar to something like VR Chat or PlayStation Home, but with a much heavier emphasis on actually playing games and working towards unlockables with the in-game currency, like condo furniture, cosmetics, usable toys, drivable vehicles, etc. It features no microtransactions, which is exceptionally refreshing in today's live service climate, and huge props to Pixeltail team for that. Even after all this time, they never went back on their word. Now, being a social hub game dedicated to living a virtual life, this game has something for enjoyers of all the regular US holidays, but it heavily focuses on Halloween and Christmas in the last quarter of the year. During Halloween, the entire plaza is reskinned and there's no time of day change, only night. NPCs spawn around the plaza in hiding spots, offering gifts for finding them. There's a maze you have to go through to find the shopkeeper's lost puppy at the center. And from that character, there's unique cosmetics you can unlock with ghoul coins that are gained by, well, playing the game during the event. Tower Unite already features a bunch of great year-round minigames that invoke the Halloween spirit, such as a top-down Dead Ops arcade-like zombie horde mode called Zombie Massacre, Virus, which is basically like the infected game mode from other popular games, and a haunted house rail shooter like something you'd see at Universal Studios. Limited time plaza events can also occur, such as finding haunted remains around the map, trick-or-treating by finding scattered candy buckets, shooting ghosts and pumpkins, or collecting autumn-themed food in a set amount of time. It all combines into a mode that iterates upon each previous year, recycling content but also occasionally adding new stuff. Well, these days, despite what Jay says, it does feel pretty feature complete. Once again, this is an example of a game that has a lot of heart and soul poured into it from developers who understand the atmosphere of the holiday. Other honorable mentions I've played include Rocket League, which does sell the vibe with some of the map designs and includes some nice cosmetics that were free to get, but ultimately don't shake up the game as much as its holiday updates, like when Snow Day was first introduced way back. Escape from Tarkov is another honorable mention, which when I played the 2022 event included very cool and fun things, such as an increased spawn chance of Tagilla, who will now appear on every map with more health wielding a scythe and jack-o'-lantern helmet. Increased spawn chances for cultists on every map who will silently run out from bushes and stab you with their poison daggers in the night. A doom weather that immediately turns the map into a dark fog so you can't see shit. A guaranteed negative status ailment just for spawning in. Increased chances of weapon jamming. Okay. This was a Halloween event for people who just fucking hate themselves, I guess. Literally unmatched brutality, even by Tarkov standards. But the most important part is that I do still remember it. And each year after, respect to them for doing new events that aren't actively designed to fuck their players up the ass. Such as last year when they added zombies for the first time, a long-requested Tarkov feature.
Oh, bro, maybe if they turned down the amount of zombies, it would be a lot easier for the actual playable. I can't fucking play this game at all. This game is fucking bullshit, dude.
Never mind. It's surprising to see their commitment to the holiday, especially considering they're the only non-US developer in this video as well. But anyways, all of these add up to a plethora of experiences to choose from for the average gamer, which is wonderful. Marvel Rivals is a game I don't care to play because I'm not much of a superhero guy, but seems to be the only new kid on the block doing something fresh this year, with a full-on zombie mode. Battlefield 6 is a new game I'm currently hopelessly addicted to and adore. Like seriously, the devs shockingly give a shit about the community. And I know it only just came out, but seeing the series' Halloween history, I don't suspect much for the holiday next year, especially considering its admirable attempts to keep things more grounded. Call of Duty's Halloween events by comparison do tend to have effort, like slasher-themed limited-time modes and a darkened Warzone map with zombies, though usually have a crossover or expensive premium cosmetic focus. But isn't it kind of incredible that from looking at a list of the currently most played multiplayer games on Steam, only a handful actually try to go all out? I mean, I'm going to be doing a very callous gloss over here, but even my honorable mentions earlier didn't really go all out every year. Rust doesn't do a lot, Apex tries a bit sporadically, PUBG reskins the map a bit, and oh god, that skibbity toilet this year, isn't it? Oh. Warframe doesn't do a lot, Helldivers 2 isn't doing a thing, Rainbow Six Siege did good 1 year with Doctor's Curse introducing the hide-and-seek mode, but now just recycles it every time without anything new. Favorites of mine, like CS2, part of the lineage of the greatest multiplayer shooters ever devised by man, does jack shit except reskin its chickens every year, having only ever tried 2 map reskins, one of which was only for the Battle Royale mode, both of which are now dead. And I guess nuke people's inventory value this year. Hey, how's that for a spooky event? Another favorite, the finals, seems to finally be trying a bit more this year with an infection mode. But it's not the deepest event and has an unfortunate FOMO element where you're forced to check in daily. Dead by Daylight is a standout, but considering its themes, of course it's going to have great Halloween events. And speaking of that, what about other genres? Some MMOs get it right, like World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, or Final Fantasy XIV, but many others are lukewarm, such as Elder Scrolls Online, Phantasy Star Online 2, Black Desert Online, all doing bare minimum for the season despite being live service. Sports games like FIFA and NBA, or racing games like Gran Turismo or Forza, never get any bone-chilling holiday love either. Perhaps there's less of a market for surreal Halloween vibes and genres that try and be as photorealistic as possible, but all the same, I'd like to see more. I don't know. Am I being greedy asking for every game to put in as much love and care and attention as Team Fortress 2 did way back? I know this stuff is expensive, and developers often prefer to focus on functional improvements than other unique major content updates specifically tailored to the game itself. But a guy like me can dream. I want more people exposed to the holiday through high-quality Halloween events, because when done right, it can feel like it's practically teleporting you straight into a foggy, moonlit, Sleepy Hollow at midnight, no matter where in the world you are, except it has the good vibes and companionship that Ichabod Crane never had. Do you have any Halloween events you have particularly fond memories of that maybe I didn't mention here? Care to correct me on some of my callous statements earlier on your favorite game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Or you can join the Discord, link in the description, for deeper conversation directly with me. I always enjoy hearing other people's stories. Stay safe out there this Halloween, my ceruleans. Grab your free candy over there before you leave tonight. And until next time, honey bunches of boo!